Hi everyone, this is Ben Colby, Teen Librarian, with an intermediate level video to create a robot with spinning arms and legs. Now I just did a beginner video where we created a robot shape similar to this using blocks. And you could make the design much more complex if you want to, but for this video I'm going to focus on the process of how we make the arms and legs spin. So I've got the arms and legs pulled apart here a little bit. And let's start with the legs. So I'm going to add a new shape. I'm going to pull these down a little bit, adding a new box shape in the middle. Actually, why don't I use a copy of one of these? And I'll just go Alt, drag. And it's going to be right in the middle here. I'll zoom in, try to get it centered, and I think I want it to be the exact same height. And that's great. So that will be a piece that holds the legs on each side. Let me get the legs here so maybe you can see what I'm talking about now. And get that lined up a little better. Great. So I'm going to select just the two legs and group them together so I can move them together. I think I just need to give this a little more space for turning. And then, yeah, that'll be fine. But I guess, yeah, so what I want to do next is build the cylinder pin that goes between these. So I'm just taking a cylinder shape. I'm going to shrink it to 10 by 10. I'm going to tip it to the side. Oh, that's fine. 90-degree turn. And I'm going to use it to connect the legs there. And it can actually stick out the side a little bit. That's not bad. And the only problem now is that it's on the ground. I want it to be off the ground just a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. So now I need to cut the hole out of the body. So I'm going to go ahead and Alt drag this over, change it into a hole, and just click that up by 1 to 11 by 11, holding the Shift key. Or if you don't hold the Shift key, just at least make sure that this goes up to 11 and the height goes up to 11. And then the last thing is we actually have to lower the hole just slightly by 0.5 millimeter, and I'm changing my snap grid to be able to do that. Why? Because we made it 1 millimeter bigger, so I need to now sink it down by 0.5 millimeter so that we have an equal gap on the top and the bottom. And now, if I group these three shapes together, it should cut out. Kind of low, but that's actually fine. It'll form just fine on the bottom. And then these shapes all group together. And I'm going to try to center that and just get a close look at it. Obviously a little off center there. Just try to look around from every angle. That's pretty good. And I can even look from underneath. Yep, nice little gap underneath. So that's good. And I'm just going to center that slightly better. So I think that part's done. So let's do the same thing with the arms. I'll start by selecting one arm and then hitting Shift and selecting the other arm and then grouping them together. And so I'll pull those off to the side and let's build the cylinder that holds them together. So I'm shrinking this down to 10 by 10, tilting it to the side, 90 degrees. Stretch it across. so that it connects the arms, and this can actually stick out the end on the arms a little bit. That's great, and then it needs to be off the ground a little bit as well, because we need to close the hole up underneath it. I can even have that up a little bit. That's good. Great, so now we need to cut the hole out of the body. So I'm going to Alt drag this over, change it into a hole, and the hole shape will have to be slightly larger than the solid. So I'm going to pull this up to 11. And I believe I'm going to have to sink this down by 0.5 millimeter so that it's balanced on the top and bottom. Pretty sure that'll fit. So let's see. I'm going to group all those together, cut that out, and the hole cuts through. That's good. So let's look at the arms. I'm going to group them, and I'm going to move them into place. And if I did this right, it should fit properly. So I'm going to move it roughly into place just by dragging, and then I'm going to use arrow keys to try to get a little closer. Okay. Not bad. It looks good on the top, and it looks good on the bottom. Okay, and then just going to center it. And that is pretty good. Once this prints, right off the build plate, you'll have the arms moving and the legs moving.